1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome back to Red Rising. This week, we're diving into chapters 32 through 39 of Golden Sun. Roke gets moody once again, and we break down Darrow's pivotal moment in the icebox, where he reveals his true identity to Ragnar. From there, the conversation covers the cinematic rescue of Augustus, the delicious humiliation and off-screen end of Pliny, and the chills-inducing Iron Rain monologue that brings the whole arc to a head. Along the way, we again dig into the complex relationships driving the story. Roke's loyalty and its limits, Mustang's frustrated attempts to get Darrow to open up, and the quiet, intriguing connection between Theodora and Ragnar. Is there anything to that? Listen on. Or Pierce, come onto the podcast and let us know. The following conversation contains major spoilers for Pierce Brown's Red Rising trilogy. This series also includes depictions of graphic violence, torture, slavery, sexual violence, and genocide. Listener discretion is advised.
We open with Liz's new tattoos. Will you give us a
Liz.
tour?
Oh.
My hands. Yes,
Can we
yes.
describe
New
them for the
tattoos.
listeners?
Sure. I don't know how to describe.
They're gorgeous, and you have a gorgeous set
Thank
of nails
you.
on.
They're line work. I guess they're sort of like tribal. They seem, but it's really just like
Lines and
shapes,
dots.
Lines and dots. It actually
Beautiful.
is kind of reminiscent of in Nigeria culture. There's like my tribe. We do like tattoos that are very similar to these. A little bit different in like the thickness and like the shape, but that's what it reminded me of. Yeah.
They're gorgeous.
That is so cool.
Thank you. I know. I'm like, okay, this is the last time I can get a tattoo now. I have to wait till the fall. But I need to pause anyways.
They're
No pause.
expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
They are. But they're just so fun.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Welcome
we're
back
back.
And we're back. So this is episode 6, season 2, and we are on the second, we're cutting it into A and B episodes. So part B of part 3 of Golden Sun. So last week we had the big moment where we trick Lorne into joining our side. Aja, quote unquote, escapes, and there's some fallout with Roke about that. And we have the idea introduced that Ragnar can lead a team by himself. He doesn't need a gold, although not everybody is happy with that. So, episode 6, here we take off. So, Darrow takes a big risk. And again, this is high level. Darrow takes a big risk in the icebox with Ragnar. And he's like, Ragnar, you're not going to believe this, bud, but I'm a red. And Ragnar's like,
He doesn't believe it.
he doesn't believe it, and he's frightened, and he like backs up from Darrow. Like, why are you saying these things? You know? And so then he offers Ragnar a choice, which is you can have freedom and brotherhood. You're gonna have to make a choice. Either stay in the icebox or like come out and join my squad and know the truth about me. Darrow then has this incredible, again, very cinematic rescue of Augustus, which Liz and I were talking about a week and a day ago, about where they use the laser from a rip wing to like cut through different levels of the ship while Darrow is standing on top of it with his razor out. Incredible, just epic. Pliny is humiliated.
Oh, sorry. We're not discussing. Never
Oh,
mind.
we're not
Go
discussing.
ahead. Please continue.
We have this
You threw
really
me
cool
in.
moment where Darrow walks up to Pliny. Pliny is like, kill him. Lorne is like, anybody who takes a step within 3 yards dies. And then
One of the best
effectively,
Lorne quotes.
incredible.
He says the
Can't wait
whole
to get to that.
He dies. He's like, if one of you steps up.
Oh, that's right.
everybody
All of you die. Yeah. So then people are killing each other to prevent them from like getting within 3 yards of Darrow. Anyway, we got to talk about that. Pliny is killed effectively in this off-screen moment.
His allies.
His allies, his prior allies. And then we have probably the coolest, most famous quote in the book, which is a Nick quote about the Iron Rain.
Oh God, yes it is. I mean, we'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get
It deserves its own episode. It's the best quote. That is the best quote in any sci-fi that I have ever read.
It is incredible. And so, crucially, Darrow's campaign looks different from typical gold conquest because he's saying out loud, don't harm the low colors, preserve the infrastructure. We're not trying to destroy Mars. It's our home. The Iron Rain itself is probably the book's biggest set piece. So fleets are moving and families are changing sides, and Darrow drives towards Mars, which is a really cool, again, very cinematic scene. And the momentum is building, but something isn't right because the advance to the Citadel, once they make it down onto the ground on Mars, is too easy. And so this section ends not in triumph, but in kind of fear, right? Because the secret route under the wall is a trap. And so that is where we leave off with part 3 of Golden Sun.
Fabulous
so
job,
much
buddy.
happens. Yeah.
A lot
Great,
happens.
great.
Well, let's get into it. Yeah.
So we start a bit emotional, right? Doesn't it start with Tactus's dead body?
Mhm. And then we find
We got a
out that he
body.
never actually sold the violin.
Theodora watch.
Theodora Watch is a good
Theodora
one.
Watch,
This
yeah.
is a very
Theodora Watch.
interpersonal stretch.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
all the dynamics
Mhm.
that happen in the first few chapters are interpersonal ones, with like Roke over Tactus's dead body, with a whole like argument about whether we should trust Victra, with Mustang in there, with Theodora. You know, it's just like a lot of interpersonal dynamics.
Yeah, so we get that, and we also get exactly the standing up for Victra. Do we trust Victra? Do we not trust Victra?
Great scene.
Which,
Mhm.
yeah, is
Great
and
scenes.
I mean for the Roke lovers amongst us, you have a good moment for Roke
That
there
is a
too.
good showing from Roke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's do so just for good quotes. Roke says Tactus died as he lived, and he wishes that Tactus could have lived longer. Mustang says, "You think he would have changed? He was always our friend," Roke says. "It was our responsibility to help him try, even if it was like hugging a flame." And so, again,
Mm.
another Roke hasn't done anything wrong moment. Roke seems like a good bud.
I mean,
we all know.
if we all just
Ooh.
ignore all the horrible
But-
things Tactus did.
Yeah.
Sam
I
made a
mean,
face.
Just because the violin thing is so hard to hear.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
with
do
you
you-
on that one. That
do
is
you
a
have that
tough
quote?
revelation. I don't have it pulled up, but essentially, do you have it?
I have it. I have
He
it.
asked me, do I
Um,
have it as a courtesy?
Well, I love it when you do your.
I'm glad you have it, man.
Sell the Stradivarius. He sold it, then felt so guilty he didn't let the sale finalize with the house. Made them cancel the order.
That's the
Darrow.
worst part.
Mm.
That's the worst part.
Yeah,
Why
which
do
is
we-
why.
Why do we believe Roke?
Oh.
That's a tough lie.
You're saying Roke is unreliable?
I mean, why do we just assume he's not going to lie?
I
Why
don't
would he?
think that's a
I guess
lie. I
why
think
would he lie?
Why would he say that?
is-
To make him
about
feel
that
guilty?
particular detail.
Yeah.
That's a detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a good full circle moment about the Stradivarius.
That's
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then
It's
and then Tactus goes and steals Lysander and throws everything to shit anyway.
Yeah, but
Like, it
again,
doesn't-
therapy.
It doesn't really fit.
I don't agree with the trying to hug him, and even if it's like hugging a flame, because like you should leave your friends, like you should not be
Snap
friends with
to
everybody
that.
just because like you should be. No.
Sorry for
I
choking on
think the
coffee there.
Tactus issue is like he's a really damaged guy, and
Yeah.
I don't think that like humans are ever like beyond helping, but in the pressure cooker that is where they are right now, it's just not compatible. That's the
Yeah.
sad part.
Yeah.
The
And that's
sad
the-
part is there's just no chance in this environment for him to come to the light side.
Yeah, but that's also the thing. Like, he's a damaged guy, but it's like his damage is not only affecting himself, rather
Right.
it's affecting everyone else. And at
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
point, you gotta
To-
put the freaking fire out.
To be fair, I would not let my kids play with Tactus. I would be like, "You're not having a play date at Tactus's house." So,
It needed to be said, and I'm glad you said it.
yeah, just to be clear. And then Mustang has a quote. Roke walks away, and Mustang says, "You have to fix that. Fix it before you've lost him." And Darrow says, "I know. I have 100 other things to fix first." So
Mm.
There was no
Yeah.
fixing it.
there's no
I
fixing
think
it.
at that point there was truly no fixing it.
Hmm.
I do think it's hypocritical that Roke ends up working again. Before we started this, I was a Roke fan, but upon second reread, I'm like seeing all the things, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, he's a good bad guy now when you think about it, but I'm just like, I would have dropped him. However, I do think it's hypocritical that he gave Darrow, like, right, like he's doesn't like that Darrow works with the jackal because he recognizes it. And I think it was in this chapter, right? And so he gives him shit later on for it, but then he joins the jackal. So I'm like, why?
I'm interested in the parallels here presented between him and Mustang because there is a scene right after this where, Mustang comes to his bedroom, batting her eyes,
Oh.
but also looking for, Dare to confide in her.
Mhm.
She comes to
Closer.
Darrow, like Roke doesn't. She comes to Darrow, like, and very baldly is like, give me information. Like, I need something from you here that you're not
Mhm.
providing. So she lays it out. Roke doesn't do that. And then Darrow doesn't give it to her and she leaves disappointed, but she doesn't betray him and go
Right.
all maniacal. You know what I mean? So, like, what is the difference there?
I think Mustang is well, right, like she's more emotionally tied with Darrow. There's that. But also I think she's just like smarter than Roke, right? Like she's like a strategic brain. She thinks all these like things out. And she's also sympathetic to like the cause, right? Like even though she doesn't Darrow hasn't said it blatantly to her, she's smart enough and aware enough of like what it is, right? Like he's not fighting just for golds to remain in power. He truly wants to change the society. Whereas
She said it blatantly to him.
that's
Yeah.
true, yeah.
Like, it's her vision.
That is very true, yeah. So, yeah.
I think I've got a couple points. One, I want to point out it's different, and I recognize it's different, but we have the scene with Roke being drugged by Darrow. And in that scene, Darrow does something Roke doesn't understand, and Roke clearly resents him for it forever.
It's violating too.
Yeah,
That's a
it
big
is.
no-no.
Contrast that, and I want to lead. I know these are different for many reasons. Contrast that, though, with Virginia's plans with Cassius and how Darrow doesn't understand them at first. But she still has a plan all the way through, and he realizes he's stupid for not trusting her and that plan. And I understand how different they are. Like you said, one is much more violating than the other. But I just think that's an interesting little parallel, maybe that Darrow kind of trusts that Virginia is doing the right thing, and Rogue is just like, no, you violated my trust completely. There's another point I had about Rogue, just that I think Rogue takes this is going to sound harsh. He takes everything way too personally, and I know it's, hey, your friends are dying. That is personal. But at the same time, they're actively in a war and they're
Yeah, he
actively
can't see the
making
bigger picture.
choices and people die in a war. And I think Mustang can see that. Mustang can see that Darrow is not personally trying to kill her friends. And Rogue is like, you are personally trying to kill my friends. And it's like, come on, Rogue.
Can we talk about the Victra conversation in the war room where everyone is like, literally everyone is like, Victra's a snake. There's a great quote about
I
it.
mean, they've got good reason too.
Yeah, well, her family's awful, right? So historically, and what she is saying in her own defense is, my name does not define who I am. And we have this interesting tete-a-tete between Severo and Victra,
Yes.
where she's like, what does he say? We could ransom her, Severo says, threaten to kill her unless Agrippina joins us or at least stops pissing all over our plans. And then she's like, you're a sinister little shit. And he's like, I'm a gold bitch. What do you expect? And then Rogue steps in and he gets 2 paragraphs of defending Victra, and ultimately is like, if another person questions her loyalty, I will lose faith in this fellowship and I will leave.
Yeah.
So
That's
why
a good
does
one.
Rogue stand up for Victra here, Craig? Can you give us a little bit more about what his reasoning is?
He's all about friendship and trust and loyalty. And he gets it and he sees it in Victra.
They have history
So-
that's not on the page in the Institute, too. So, like, that's where that's being drawn from, right?
I don't think so.
Victra's
No, Victra's
older.
10 years older or something.
No, but they
Seven.
weren't they all in the Institute together? Not the Institute,
not
the Academy.
The Academy, yeah.
Oh, the
yeah.
Academy.
Yeah, this is true.
Academy. My bad.
The new school.
They are confusing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The postdoc fellowship.
Yes, the postdoc fellowship.
And then Darrow's, chance made us golds. We could have been born any other color. Chance put us in our families, but we choose our friends, right? Which is very
Yeah. That's
Which is
a great, I'm glad
hilarious
you called that
because
quote out.
Chance
Yeah.
did not make him gold.
Yeah, right, but
We know that.
yeah, good point.
What a great quote with the full context of just knowing Chance did not make him gold.
Yeah.
And
All right, and
Chance,
then Mustang comes to talk to him.
Yeah. There's always a funny Ragnar moment as he's, being so insistent that she leave that she's like, "Is there a girl in there?"
Yeah.
Ragnar just being a mother hen.
Yeah. Ragnar's so good.
Ragnar's
And
Yeah.
then
such a great
she beats
character.
up Darrow with like a fake razor while
Mhm.
she's like, "What are your plans? Why do you
Yeah.
think what you think? Who are you?" You know?
Yeah, she's really, really trying to get it out of him. And he could
Mhm.
this could be a moment he could tell her, but he chooses not to.
And they sort of dance around the topic of like Mustang's thesis,
Yeah.
which was people are equal.
Mhm.
And Darrow has read it, which is cute.
It's cute, but he better have, my goodness.
When
You gotta read
does
your girlfriend's thesis.
That's
Jeez
Oh,
Louise.
You gotta, yeah.
wow.
Well, they're not dating yet, right? Like
Mm,
it's
well, if you wanna.
just
well, that's my
if you're trying
question
to.
is when does that spoiler moment happen?
Them
Mark
officially
it.
like dating?
The whatever leads to
Oh
the
no,
Oh.
it doesn't.
when
It's
does that
later.
happen? It does.
Yeah.
Okay,
Later.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
like
Yeah.
later.
it's
End
got to
of-
be sometime between here and
It's
the
next,
last page
next
of the last
section.
book.
Yeah, it's like next
Mhm.
section, I believe. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's just like what's that funny meme
So-
about LaCroix? Just like a hint of flavor. We get a hint of like something might have happened between Mustang and
And that's I guess I'll save this part of the conversation for then because it's part of the equation of could Darrow have told her earlier. There's an additional bit of conflict later on that makes that it's hard to discuss without getting into the spoiler, but it that question I think is a whole degree harder.
Oh,
to
yeah.
answer.
I think
yeah.
from Darrow's point of view, Mustang is his highest, maybe even from everyone's point of view, highest risk person to tell this to. Like, I don't rush him in any sense. It's from an emotionally standpoint, the most emotionally resonant, but she's also like the most powerful person under him as far as her ability to like she's just a genius and pull strings and have power. So, like, it's a big thing to tell someone like her.
risky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's laying down all the foundation that you can see her trying so hard to like get him to
Mhm.
come clean. But yeah, it's a tough thing to say. Whereas, a couple pages later, he's just like, Ragnar, sit down. I'm going to tell you a story about
Yeah.
how I was once
Yeah. That's
Um,
very true.
Yeah, but she leaves like unhappy, and then she sort of sticks to the like, okay, we're going to be distant then for the remainder of the part.
I have a quote. I wrote this quote down a long time ago, and it pops up here at the beginning of chapter 34. They're kind of standing, watching Mustang hang out with the Telemanuses, standing next to Lauren, and Lauren is like, "You're staring. Stop staring."
Oh, is this the Lauren
That's
quote?
funny.
This is a Lauren quote.
God, is it?
I have a
okay.
Lauren quote too.
Maybe
from
we
this.
all
Okay, great.
maybe we all have the same
Mm.
one.
So mine is Darrow's speaking. Pliny is a leech, a liar as much as you're an honest man. And that makes him dangerous, says Lauren. Liars make the best promises. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
liars make the best promises is one of my, I wrote
That's
that
one of
down.
your favorites.
Mm.
Yeah.
What did you
yeah.
have, Nick?
Is this the scene where Lauren tells him that he would have been a decent man?
No.
Ooh,
Is that later? Then we'll
That's
come back
later.
to that.
Those-
Okay.
Oh,
I
thought
think
it was
that's
before.
part
but-
4.
No, there was one
I'll
in
do
this
some
part.
research and figure out because
Okay.
that's the one I was thinking of. Go ahead, Sam.
So the one I had is in the same little stretch here in their conversation, and it's a longer quote, but I like the first sentence. He says, well, actually, in this part, Lauren's being an absolute dickhead about Ragnar because
That's true.
he's like, Ragnar's a monster. You can't trust him. He was bred for
Yeah.
one purpose.
I've seen him
And-
fight.
Yeah. And then he says, you will fall to ruin because you believe that exceptions to the rule make new rules.
Mm,
And I still get chills when I read that. That is a great quote.
that's a
That's
great
an
quote.
awesome insight from Lauren. And it's a great conversation starter. Like, hey,
It is.
do you believe that exceptions to the rule make new rules? Because I'm like, yeah, Darrow does do that.
Yeah.
And
Constantly.
should he? Does he? Are they? Like, it's a great point.
I mean, I feel like, right, like, I think Darrow's aware of that, though, right? Because even in all the previous chapters that we've talked through, he's very much, anytime he does something that may or will change the paradigm, he's like, why did I think that they wouldn't adjust to like whatever changes that he
Yeah.
is, right? Because he's kind of spearheading this change that's happening.
Yeah.
Nero
that's
said
interesting.
something similar at the end of the last book, which is like, you did this once, bud. Like, it's not gonna last. But what were you gonna say, Craig?
Well, so in this back and forth between Darrow and Lorne, for the first time we see Darrow say to himself internally, for the first time, Lorne seems small and old to me.
Mhm.
It's not his wrinkles, it's what he says. He is a relic. And then he says at the end of that chapter, "You taught me once, Lorne. I'm a better man for it, but now it's my turn to teach you. Men can change. Sometimes they have to fall, sometimes they have to leap. And before you die, you'll realize what a mistake it was to kill Tactus because you never gave him the chance to believe he was a good man," which is a good
Yeah.
ending point for that section.
Totally.
So-
I think that's such a great section because I can certainly relate to seeing someone in a new light, someone you admired as being like, okay, that's actually the past now. Like this person isn't a
Yeah.
superhero.
Mm-hmm.
We're all but mere mortals.
And then we
Mhm.
get Ragnar in the icebox.
Yes.
Yep.
And we just chilling, which is
Just
fabulous.
chilling, literally just chilling.
Yeah. Like this is comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a character Ragnar
Oh,
is.
Ragnar's
best.
amazing.
He's just
the
like a
best.
bunny that's
Yeah.
8 feet tall and his arms are gigantic. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of bunnies, we need to do a comparison of all of the animals, right? Like we know that the fox can take the wolf, but cannot take a jackal.
I see.
And the griffin can take, I think, all of them because it can fly away and run away when needed. But
Well,
what are
that's
the other
interesting.
animals?
I think we have
The
to save that
freaking
for
lion.
the
Oh,
second trilogy because we get
okay.
into it more.
More.
But I do like that topic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
a good
like,
one.
This is, yeah.
Coming back from my quote searching, we missed the point where my quote was. It was earlier.
Oh,
It was
okay.
when they were.
I was
It was when
Oh,
they were
let's
still
hear
on
it.
Europa.
Earlier, yeah.
Let's
I
hear
thought
it.
that was at the part where he says he wouldn't have killed Tactus, but that's not what you're talking about.
No,
That's in
it's-
part 4.
Yeah, it's earlier. It's when I think when
He
he's
says, "You didn't
talking on the
choose me."
island with Darrow, and he's like, "In another life, you would have been one of my sons, Darrow."
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I would have
yeah.
found you earlier before whatever happened that filled you with this
This
rage. I would not have raised you to be a great man. There is no peace for great men. I would have had you be a decent one. I would
Mm.
have given you the
Mhm.
quiet strength to grow old with the woman you love. And it's just,
That's a 10 out of 10 quote.
that is a 10 out of 10 quote.
Yeah.
And for all the shit I talked about Lauren, he's got some banger quotes.
I mean,
Mhm.
the whole the whole series is filled with like his great quotes, whether he's there or not. There's always
Arcosian,
like,
Arcosian
Yeah.
wisdom.
yeah,
It's
Mm.
true.
but yeah.
Arcosiism.
Thanks for that little side quest. Anyway,
That was great.
Icebox.
Icebox. So back and forth, Darrow, Ragnar. Darrow's like, "Hey, I'm just like you." And Ragnar's like, "We are not the same, Sunborn." You are master.
Yeah.
And then it's weird the way he intros this topic to me. He's really circular in how he gets there, And Darrow's like, "I was born 6 inches from the dirt. Ragnar, I release you from my service, whether you like it or not. I will not let you be bound. I will not let you be led. You stay in this icebox till you are man enough to decide what you want."
Yeah. There's a few times,
Man
not
enough.
just in this section, but it happens in this section where he, Pierce, the writer, alludes to an intelligence in Ragnar that is just like very deep and like almost as if he's playing dumb and like playing a bit of a character, but is like
Yeah.
an extremely intelligent person, which up until this point in Gold history, they're like obsidians are dumb. They're,
Right, they
Creatures.
just fight,
machines,
Animals.
they're
yeah.
creatures. Yeah. And so I just love how that's trickled in. One of the like main points of this whole book is that the society tries to diminish each person into a single trait or single function, and people are multifaceted. And I think that's why I love Ragnar so much, because they're constantly dropping hints about how multifaceted Ragnar is. He's a bunny, but he's incredibly intelligent. But
Mm.
yes, he's an amazing fighter, but also he's a wonderful leader, but he's submissive to his family. Like has so many, he's just so he contains multitudes. And
Mhm.
this part is really has that on full display because he fights Darrow because he knows this is dangerous for him. Like Darrow could be tricking him. It's happened before. And so this is a really dangerous position for Ragnar. He has to make a big risk by trusting that Darrow's being straight with him.
Yeah. And so what happens?
He leaves the icebox.
He leaves the
Yeah.
icebox. And then we have this really, I love this part. They have stolen a ship.
Oh, it's
And
so
so
good.
the whole crew, the entire entourage of like who's who in the rebellion army is on this ship. And they walk out into the hangar and everybody's just like, whoa. You know, they're all wearing
It's that-
black armor.
That slow motion walking scene.
It really is a
Yeah.
slow-mo walking scene. And Orange tries to like type into his data pad that like something's happening, and Ragnar's like, no, you know, just like. And so they somehow get to the cafeteria. Everybody stops as soon as they walk in. Ragnar like unbolts a table from the ground and pulls it out of the way. And then this is where they have the Ripwing laser,
Ride the freaking drill.
and he
Super light.
rides. Yeah,
Because I really want to get into this one, but before we do, there is a little bit of back and forth with the Jackal and
Oh, yeah, 'cause they find
Severo
him,
as he's
right?
like
yeah.
even before the icebox, maybe.
I think it's
No,
after
it's-
because they
it's
find him
part, yeah.
on Pliny
Yeah.
ship.
So they're freeing all of the like people who have been trapped there, and one of them is the Jackal, and Severo's making him like say he loves Darrow or whatever. And at one point, Goblin asks, "What do I have in my pocket?" as a little riddle, which is
Yeah,
a
very cute
direct
reference.
Lord of the Ring or Hobbit reference.
Hobbit.
So cute, so fun, so unnecessary. It's an eyeball. Darrow just tells him,
Yeah.
and then he
Pointing
says
inside.
eyeball, and he's like, "Damn it, who told him?"
Yeah.
You've been like ragtagged. So please
Doesn't
continue.
Darrow like point at his eye or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. This whole scene is just kind of
Fun.
fun.
It's
It's just
heisty.
it is very
Yeah.
like it is heisty.
It's Ocean's 11.
It's so Ocean's 11. You're
And this is-
absolutely right.
I think we've talked about this before, where we have these little bit of like completely outrageous moments
Yeah.
and completely outrageous, sometimes quotes, and sometimes they work and sometimes they're just silly. This one works. I think
Yeah.
it's a good little tension break.
well,
because
Severo
we're-
sings a song,
Yeah.
right? The famous song that actually keeps playing throughout the whole series. You know,
God,
if your
yeah.
heart beats like a drum and your legs a little wet, it's come the reapers. It's because the reapers come to collect a little debt. You know, which is so over the loudspeaker in the ship.
Well, because Lauren says, isn't this the part where Lauren
You're
is
so
like,
freaking
remember
over
how
the
I
top."
told you to like be decent? Just scare the shit out of them.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That's another great Lauren quote. He's like, I take it back, just scare their pants off. And they do. So please, they drill. And then this is just so fun.
Yeah. The drill glows red. Heat radiates up into me, spreads along the floor. Low colors flow away. A hell diver again, if only for a moment. And then the drill slams into the middle of Augustus's wooden table, and he's kneeling on it. He stands up. He's got his razor uncoiled. And then again, comically, very Ocean's 11, everyone's like, "It's me. Cavix is here." You know.
Yeah, because they're like shocked, like, what? No, what? And then
What?
Kavax has to
You
be
told
like,
me he
"And
was
me!"
dead. Yeah. And then Lauren has this quote: "If anyone comes within 2 meters of Darrow, I will kill everyone in this room." A young man lurches forward and dies as his neighbor stabs him in the back. 2.3 meters, Lauren says. Close. No, it's just like, it's comical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Pliny dies. It's like a not a big deal moment.
That's all Pliny gets.
I also
It's
I
about
just
1 page.
I
Well,
love
I love. Go ahead, Nick. What do you love?
I
There's
love
something I love
when
here.
we see tactics or things Darrow has learned that keep coming back into play. Like we talked about this in the last part, how he tried to shoot himself in the projectile himself, not shoot
Starship.
himself. Not how he tried to do that in the academy and he couldn't, and then he ends up doing it a little bit later in the book when they take the flagship or whatever. The riding of a drill is another one where it's a callback to him being a hell diver, and I think he even talks about that here. If not here, he definitely talks about it later. And I love that it's a tactic that keeps coming up for Darrow, and it works because I mean he's a great hell diver and do what you know, right?
Yeah, I also love the moments where he does, like, he has learned something culturally about gold, and that gives him leverage to play that part. And so at the gala, that's all show. He's like very much calculating based on gold culture what he should do next to make it the most offensive and cause this civil war. And here with Pliny, it's really similar. He's like, I could kill Pliny right now, but it's more effective for me to show him a version of mercy. And so he he completely embarrasses him and ensures that his followers will kill him by being like, But it's all good, Pliny. He like dusts off his head, he like straightens his little pin, and then he kisses him on the head and makes a big show of like being, treating him like a child. And it just completely and utterly destroys any position Pliny had left amongst everybody. So yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's
And
funny.
then, Nick, we get to the greatest
yeah.
quote of all the quotes.
Oh yeah, and this ends when he's making the announcement and he says, "Tell all who will hear, the Reaper sails for Mars," and he calls for an iron rain,
Mm,
and it's just so freaking cool. I
it's
mean,
epic.
we've
He's literally floating on grav boots while he says
exactly.
this. He slowly
It's-
turns around and he looks at everybody. He's dramatic.
yeah, and it works, and
It does
just
work.
to come from, like you said, with the epigraph, when comes the iron rain, to this moment, like we've heard about the myth of iron rain and what it means, and to hear Darrow call for one, Darrow, who is at the beginning of this book just completely outcast. He has no power. To just see how he's risen from that point to here, where he is calling for an iron rain and people are going to listen. Well, we assume people are going to listen because of the way he tells it is just so. I mean, I throw it on. I listen to that part with Tim Gerard Reynolds before I go for a run, just to hype me up.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Just like keep that on loop. It's a perfect hype
awesome.
moment in written word.
What comes next?
He's standing in his ship, surrounded by everyone who is arrayed for war and like the hangar.
He's like, oh
And
shit, what did I just do?
And he's kind of like, this
And
is
he's scared.
nuts. Yeah, he's scared, even though he's like, Mickey carved me to be a god of war, but I feel like a little boy. And then he has this really interesting quote where he starts off, in the fading days of autumn, the Reds who mine the bedrock of Mars wear masks of happy ghouls to celebrate the dead claimed by the red soil. Anyway, it's just like he's planting seeds, right?
Mhm.
I
This
don't know.
part's written really
obviously,
well too.
It's
Yeah.
really well
Yeah,
written.
like the words, the similes.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
a writer.
like
but
that.
so many
Similes, the metaphors.
the metaphors. But yeah, it's like very, you can, even though it's a very contemplative part. So there's not, it's this part right here doesn't have a lot of action, but he's describing what everything looks like. It's really
Mhm.
vivid.
Yeah, imagery.
Yeah, imagery. The
Imagery
language
is a
is really
word.
beautiful. Syntax?
So
Yeah.
also in this bit, I don't know if it's before or after the quote you said, Greg, we get another awesome Arcosian wisdom. And it's,
Oh.
I think it's here. It's where he talks about Achilles. And he says Achilles let his pride and rage consume him, and in the end, an arrow shot by a pixie took him in the foot. There's much to live for besides this. Hopefully you'll grow old to realize that Achilles was a gory damn fool, and we're all fools the more for not realizing he wasn't Homer's hero. He was a warning. I feel like men once knew that. And I feel like that's such a great quote to come after the calling for iron rain and to come in the midst of what you're saying about Darrow and these other quotes. It's just a warning, a reminder, like, don't just die for the sake of nothing here. Like,
Yeah.
think this through.
Yeah.
And I do believe this is the part where he says he wouldn't have killed Tactus, because I wouldn't remember it if it wasn't. I just can't find it in the text right now.
I
I don't
part
think it's
4.
part 4.
Yeah, I
Because
think they're standing in the
just
garden.
listened to it.
Okay. Well, you're probably
swear.
right then.
But I didn't write it down, so that's on me.
Oh, so
Yeah.
then remembering
I'm gonna try to find it.
page.
I like to think that June the baker is in this group of people. We do get a PAX
know.
reference.
Yeah.
Daxo comes over and is like, Pax was so silly doing the war chant that his dad taught him, you know? But he would look so good now, standing with armor as one of Darrow's knights.
R.I.P.
Yeah, rip.
I also love that literally we get hinted at the fact that all the Telemanises do that freaking thing, and it's so great. Because when we're introduced to Pax, we're just like, oh, like I think even Darrow says it, like he's dumb, he's like a fool for just yelling his own name running into battle, but it's like, no, it's just another show of the love of that family and how they're like
Yeah,
bonded.
they're incredible.
Yeah.
And
I
then he
wanna
does a
shout my name.
half-hearted, right? He does a half-hearted apology to Roke.
Again.
He's like, I'm sorry for everything. And Roke is like,
Yeah.
we'll make amends later. And it doesn't happen.
Too
So-
late.
When do we have any idea when Roke finds out the truth about Darrow?
Part
I know we
For-
know after it happens, but do we know like
The exact moment. I don't
Oh, I
think
don't
yeah,
know
like
so.
where in it would be great to have Pierce maybe, come onto the podcast and
Right.
Ooh.
And
maybe give
clarify
us some
that.
clarification on this, because I wonder if there's any way we can actually see it in Roke's actions, because I'm assuming he learns it before sometime in all of this and he has to put on a front.
Well,
Because
no. He
is there
learns it. I thought he learned it after the fact, after all of this, because it's after Harmony is kidnapped, right? And that hasn't happened yet, I don't believe.
okay, so maybe yeah, you probably, because I think they do learn it from Harmony, don't they?
Yeah. And so
Okay.
we
Oh,
know
yeah.
that he knows it when him and Dara are talking about how he grew up and as they're
Mhm.
looking over like the so we know at that point he knows, but we
Yeah.
don't
Mhm.
know.
So I want to be on the lookout for any scenes that could exist between them after
Yeah.
Roke knows what Darrow truly is. I don't know if
Yeah.
there are any, but let's be on the lookout for that.
All right. Sounds good.
Does anybody remember that moment where Theodore touches Ragnar on the arm?
Yes.
Is it at the end of this?
What's going on
The end of
there?
Tell
this,
me.
what's
I
going
ship
on?
them. Just kidding.
I
What's
mean,
going on?
100%.
Yeah, well, she puts a flower in Darrow's hair and is like,
Mhm.
every night she'd go into battle with a token, She leaves, squeezing Ragnar's forearm as she passes. I didn't know they were familiar. Ragnar follows along, hanging back like a hesitant shadow.
Love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
What do you think's going on there?
Some late night calls, maybe.
I don't know. I
truly-
don't know, but I think it's cute. Like, what an interesting pairing.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm not surprised, but like Theodora just seems right. Like she's wise. She's just dialed into the people. She's very like personable when she likes you. So I can also just see it being just like a very like heartwarming like arm touch, right? Like you're about to go into this
Mhm.
iron rain, so like good luck, kind
But
of
Ragnar
thing.
of all
But I
people,
mean,
like,
I
yeah.
ship them.
And it's
Well,
like,
they're both-
does she know anything about the talk like Darrow and Ragnar
Oh,
had?
right,
Like, is
that-
there something there? Like, I don't think she
Right.
does, but like,
I don't think
there's
so.
what does that touch signify? Is it more than we
Yeah.
think?
I think that Theodora and Ragnar are both really devoted to Darrow. And I think
Yeah.
that helps bond them as well. I mean, she will have seen that Ragnar's standing outside his room at all hours. She does a similar kind of work. They probably just spend a lot of time together. She's, again, like they're both so intelligent and sympathetic
Yeah.
beyond what their colors are told they're supposed to do. And so they have a little
Do-
connection. I love that.
Do we ever get
Yeah.
a scene with Darrow talking to Theodora about him being a red at all? I feel like she deserved that. But
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Clearly,
yeah.
at some
No.
point, she finds out and sticks
Well,
by
we're getting
him,
into
so-
spoiler territory. I'm marking it.
Yeah.
Are we? Okay.
Tread lightly.
We have a lot. We have a lot to get through too.
It's
by the way.
that's book
And
3.
also in this part, this is where we get to see like the true transformation of the people supporting Dara, right? Like all of their their house flags are turning into sling blades. It's just I can
Mhm.
just see the visual of it. It's just very cute and very like, oh shit.
That's
our
such a great
warriors
point.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see the visual ramifications of that. Severo has a frank conversation with Darrow about it, but also
Mhm.
we're seeing that in a more meta way. Like as each character, we don't know necessarily where they're going to land, but what we're seeing now is them like splitting to either side and figuring that
Right.
out for themselves.
Also, a very interesting point and one I hadn't thought about before now. Darrow is still supposed to be like for House Augustus, right? I guess, is he still technically a Lancer for House Augustus? I don't know. How do we think Nero feels about all of his allies following the Sling Blade and Darrow and
Not good.
Not great. And I think
the
he clocked sorry. I was
no,
gonna
no,
say
go
I
ahead.
think he clocked it earlier when he was like, I will go take down Ganymede. And then he started like Dara
Mhm.
laid out the plan, but then Nero was like, I'm assigning the things because it's my
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that clearly
Yeah.
backfired for Nero, right? Because
Very
Darrow is part of the
middle manager
plan.
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get a meet and greet with Jupiter from the Institute reference, which is kind of cute. And then another really cute thing, they're all in their star shells waiting to be fired down at the planet, and they're just like bantering, on the comms.
Yeah.
Very cute. And Victra's, it's so like, again, like Sam brought it, like sitcom-y,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love it. It's so sweet and cute before like murder and death
Right.
and mayhem
And
ensues.
it's
So,
another one of these moments where you like ease the tension off just a little bit,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, they're
Because it's
scared
building.
shitless, right? Yeah, also
Yeah,
at
right.
this point. So
And
it's like,
I think this upcoming section of Golden Sun, and additionally, like where we're at here, is one of the first times when I was reading a book where I found that I literally couldn't stop reading, and it just
yeah.
like goes and goes and goes and goes. So to
Yeah.
have this little easing off of the tension right before this, you know something big's coming. So it's like, hey, let's have a little bit of fun with it, but also let's show the way people kind of face their fears, right? Like so often we use humor and lightheartedness as a way to ease that tension for ourselves too. And it's
Yeah.
just fun to see the realness in that, even though it's completely unreal. They're being shot out of a tube. Like a
Yeah, and then we
torpedo.
have like this relentless description of war up
Mhm.
until the end of this chapter where Roke is shouting through the comms like, "She's here. She's not on Luna.
What?
Octavia's here on Mars."
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like breaking through all the yeah.
And Dara's like, "Roke, I know. I've known the whole time."
There
And
was
we're
a
like,
better
"What
way
an
to do
idiot."
that too. Yeah, what an idiot. Communication. He needs to go to a seminar.
He does
Yeah.
need to communication seminar. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so yeah, that's another place where like maybe we're not at the point where you're trusting him with your deepest, darkest secret, but you could have told him about the Aja thing to
Something,
allay his
yeah.
fears because he wouldn't have told. And
Okay,
you
it
also didn't have to say in this moment, "Oh, we all knew, you just didn't know."
Mhm.
Like, jeez.
Yeah.
way to kick him while he's already down.
But
Yeah.
again, I come back to maybe the drugging Rogue wasn't the good parallel to Mustang, but this is, with Mustang having a plan with Cassius and her
Yeah.
being like, "Did you not think I'd have a plan for this? Come on." This is another one of those like I like clearly Darrow had a plan he was setting up, and if Darrow could like kind of see, oh yeah, like why can't Rogue? Why can't Rogue
Mhm.
see that? Oh, Darrow was setting this up, and also like you're in a war and you are trying to do something that is pretty impossible here. Like you can kind of understand why Darrow would keep that absolutely under wraps because the more people know about it, the more people can screw it up.
Yeah, and
And
if you're bought into
Yeah.
the
mhm,
end game, I think it's easier to take that, and the thing
mhm,
with Roke is he's just not bought into having a war, to
yep,
toppling society, to defeating the
mhm.
Sovereign. He's
And
really like an
Right.
agent for the status quo.
And again, this
Mhm.
comes back to like Rogue was mad at Darrow for letting Aja go because he was blinded by that revenge. And if he had known this plan, would he have pushed for something else? And it only works
Yeah.
because they let Aja go.
Mhm.
So that's where it's like I don't blame Darrow. Like, yeah, not a great communicator. Yeah, probably could have done this better. Also, he's freaking storming a planet after being shot out of a spit tube and
Right.
running around and hearing Rogue through some interference. I also don't blame him for being a little bit short with him and being like, "Come on,
Ah,
get with the
coulda done it.
program."
He's like, I have
Coulda done it
juggling too
better.
many things. Your insecurity is not one of them.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which brings us to
Mm.
they come to the wall, they dive underneath, and they like pop up on the other side and they see a girl in a brown dress, a brown girl wearing, in the mud by herself. Feels odd and not appropriate during a war for a child to
Mhm.
be out in the mud. And Severo screams, "Shoot her." And Darrow knocks his hand aside. And then she sets off an EMP. And the last quote is, "That's when we begin to die." And that, I
Mhm.
think, is where the section ends.
So
Tough.
let's talk about that.
Well, we have some high highs and we have
I
some
don't
low
know.
lows.
Yeah.
Fly so high in mud you lie.
In mud, you lie. Yeah.
Well, that's how part 3 opens.
Yeah.
So appropriate.
Part 4 opens.
Part 4,
Part
yeah,
4.
Yeah.
sorry.
Part
Okay.
4.
So
Literally.
like
Literally.
let's get into it. Should Darrow have let
I don't know.
Severo
This
should
feels
Darrow have let
dicey.
Severo kill a child?
Yes. In this instance, yes. And, again, in the future, he should have, he really should have listened to Dare. When Sever brings up the killing of the children, he should have just automatically listened to him because obviously Sever is not a lunatic. I mean, he is, but not so badly that like he just knows like the way that golds fight, right? Like, and I
Mhm.
think
Right.
this also shows that it's like they're going to use a child because they know that you won't necessarily like you won't
Mhm.
kill this child, but we need to.
Was the child, was this kid part of, please, like, I'm actually asking a question and it's diving a little bit into part 4, but it comes to this. Was this part of Cassius's idea, or do we know, like, because
Well, that's a part 4 thing, but we know they don't know Darrow is here.
okay, gotcha. And like I we'll get more into that in part 4, but I'm just so curious about like who came up with, hey,
Yeah,
let's put
I
a kid
don't
here with
know
an
if it was
EMP.
Cassius. Yeah.
Yeah, or if it was
I
someone
wouldn't be
else,
surprised
or
if it
was
was
it
an
Karnas?
Octavia thing, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
it
don't
certainly
know.
sounds like an Octavia thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all of the
I
opinion
don't
that
know
they should
how
have killed
I
children.
don't remember how we learned, but anyway, that is a part 4 thing. So
Yeah, we'll get into that more next
we'll get
time.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah. But just, I mean, it's a perfect trap, right? I don't think there is any world in which I agree with you, Liz. I think the right move was shoot the kid, but I don't think there's any world in which Darrow is okay with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I
Darrow,
mean,
that's a theme.
Yeah.
I say it, but like I guess if
know?
I saw a child standing in front of me, my
Yeah,
instinct
right.
would not be to shoot them. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Severo's just like, hey, shoot that kid.
Yeah.
Because he knows. He's like, I will
Yeah,
fight.
exactly.
Like, I could see Severo also probably fighting that dirty if it needed to happen.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing. Does Darrow know it's a trap in this moment and he just can't bring anyone to kill the kid? Or does Darrow not, is he confused and Severo sees that it's a trap?
I think Severo sees it and Darrow
Yeah.
doesn't yet. Yeah.
Right. It certainly feels like Darrow doesn't see it for the trap it is yet. But I
Mhm.
can't tell if he's just like, no, I don't want to kill a kid.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's it. I think that's
Yeah.
all there is to it. And he only has like 3 seconds to make this decision too. So
Yeah.
But it's also a very interesting moment too, because Darrow is not a gold, right? Would
they're
any
playing
gold,
dirty for sure.
but like
Yeah.
this was not a gold child, right? This was a low color child.
Mhm.
Would any gold other than Darrow have had a
100%.
problem? Like they would have,
No.
yeah,
Immediately killed. Yeah.
exactly, because
Yeah.
it was a low color. They're like, oh, so it's literally,
Which does beg the question, why use
A low color.
a low color? Because anybody else would have. They did not know that it was Darrow that was going to be making this approach.
mhm.
So the plan from the gold perspective is kind of weak because anybody else would have killed the kid.
And they think Darrow is a gold, and he's not really known for an
Right.
Achilles heel of mercy yet. So, like,
Right,
as
no.
a tactic for any gold,
It is weak.
it
Yeah, it
maybe
feels
is
lucky.
a little bit weak.
But I
Feels
feel
lucky.
like this whole wall, the wall and this trap never really made sense to me. And we'll get to that more in part 4 because there are just some questions I have that I don't know if they ever really get answered. Because like you said, they don't know that Darrow's going to be there, right?
No, they don't.
So like they got supremely lucky.
Doesn't Cassius though? Because like, isn't that part of how they sprung this surprise? Was that Cassius assumed that Darrow would be here, and like he's like, I know you, and like you would not be part of this.
And they were blown something like 300 kilometers from where they were supposed to land. Was that just
Mhm.
on accident? Like that?
That was
that a-
accidental. Yeah, the fog of
Okay.
war.
Okay. I
So-
just assumed there was something there that was like pushing them out
No,
from where they were
I
supposed
don't
to
think
be.
so.
If we're, as I'm trying to piece this together a little bit, and trying to make sense of it, and some of this is a conversation for next week, but if this was Cassius' idea and he worked on it with Karnas, I mean, Karnas was in the academy with Darrow, so Karnas very likely could have seen those moments where Darrow did care about low colors. So maybe there's something there, but honestly, I thought Karnas was just a big brute and didn't really like think that much
Pay
ahead. But
attention to anything.
I think
yeah.
I think this is an area we might just be reading too far into it. This
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a
Yeah,
plot device
I think
that
so.
worked.
yeah,
and we
and
enjoy
we'll-
it.
work.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, and we'll
Yeah.
definitely dive into that more next week. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
as
Well, how
an
do we
ending,
feel about it?
yeah, this whole part. I mean, you've got the Iron Rain.
You got the Iron Rain. so
The
it's a
Iron
5.
Rain brings it up. It's still a little bit lower for me than I trained. So 4.5, 4.75, something
than
like
the
that.
Gala.
Like just a little bit less than that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's valid.
All right.
Liz and Sam.
I liked this part. There was a lot that happened. I would give it a 4. I'd say it was a solid chapter.
I agree. 4.
4. Okay.
Very good
You too?
cliffhanger.
Yeah,
say
I
yours,
think
Greg?
I agree with Nick. 4.5. You're right. It's not as good as the Gala. So.
Mhm.
Oh, hey.
But still epic.
Like little. Oh, for Harpy.
Oh yeah.
Daria the Harpy, our first howler to like
Yep.
die in battle.
Oh.
Just shot down, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just want to.
I like the
Yeah,
sad
shout
Hal.
out to her.
Sad
Yeah,
Hal.
thank you.
R.I.P. Harvey.
Gone but not
All right.
forgotten.
All right, guys.
Gone but not forgotten. All right, we'll see you next
Bye,
time.
everybody.
time.
See you next time.
Bye. Thanks for joining us. Next week, we get into arguably the most famous quote from the entire series. You're not going to want to miss that. So if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at thehowlerbookclub@gmail.com or slide into our DMs on Instagram at thehowlerbookclub. See you soon.